and thereby triggering a pandemic which could then kill more people. I think these group, this international corporate crime syndicate, as I've called it, have planned many different ways to reduce the world's population, and that includes wars, famine, and GMO foods, the Codex Alimentarius. They realize that their target is very ambitious. They want to kill more than 6 billion, according to some sources. And so they have thought of many, many different measures to do it. But the vaccination and the pandemic will play a significant role, I think, in their view, in damaging and killing people, and also provide them with the capacity to create this one world government on the shattered ruins of national government states.
Kakve su reakcije ljudi i javnosti? Da li oni prihvaćaju ideju o cijepljenju protiv svinjske gripe ili ne? Naime, pretpostavljam da su u svakoj zemlji novine pune dnevnih vijesti iz aktualne politike koje zaokupljaju ljude, pa se takve vijesti nalaze dosta razbacane. Međutim, na vašem web sajtu ih skupljate svakoga dana. Vijesti stižu iz Poljske, iz Finske, iz Amerike. Riječ je nekad o liječnicima, nekad je riječ o ljudima koji naravno nisu liječnici. Kakva je percepcija javnosti prema tom cjepivu? Da li ga ljudi prihvaćaju, odbijaju?
Well, the more information people get about the dangers of this vaccine and how it hasn't been subjected to proper trials, the more polls show that they are rejecting this vaccine. And there's been a dramatic drop in the number of people willing to take this vaccine in, for example, Germany and even France. In Germany it was, I think, something like 55% just a couple of months ago, and now it's only 13%. And I think in France it was also, and it's something like 57%, and now it's 17% in a very short time. In Germany, the whole discussion about what is in the swine flu vaccine was triggered by the decision of the German army not to take vaccine because they considered it too toxic for their own soldiers. And this unleashed a tremendous debate about what is this vaccine? Is it really necessary when the swine flu is so mild? And it resulted in many articles in the mainstream media being very critical of the swine flu vaccine, and the news spread, people became informed, and they realized that it's a tremendous risk taking this vaccine. It's not tested, it's full of toxins. If there is a virus, there are much better ways of protecting yourself, like surgical masks or vitamins or colloidal silver or MMS. So the trend throughout Europe is for people to increasingly reject this vaccination. And now the Polish health minister has said she is not intending yet to even buy these vaccines for the Polish people. She is a family doctor, and she's looked into the clinical tests, and she said they're inadequate. She can't guarantee the safety of these vaccines. She wouldn't be sure she'd give them to her own children and grandmother. And so she herself has even said that these are unsafe or at least untested vaccinations and very risky. And she was supported by the Polish Prime Minister. So we see resistance increasing everywhere.
Podaci koji su dostupni, poput recimo toga da su Portugalci se bunili protiv primanja cijepiva, pa 75% Finaca ga je odbilo primiti, pa su se, eto, u Poljskoj se to čak diglo na jedan malo viši nivo. Pretpostavljam da su prvi na toj listi, na tom popisu bili i zdravstveni radnici. Spomenuto da je 90% zdravstvenih radnika u Grčkoj također odbilo se cijepiti. Što kažu liječnici i sestre koji bi trebali davati cijepivo na to cijepivo, da li ga sami uzimaju, da li snose kakve posljedice ako ga ne žele davati?
Well, the doctors and the nurses have been among the fiercest critics of this vaccine, and the majority in almost every country has said that they don't want to take this vaccine. They were the priority target group for the first vaccinations, and the turnout was very, very low. I know for a fact, for example, in Vienna, only 100 of the 32,000 health workers in the city took the vaccine in the first week. So that's how low it is. I think it's less than 0.1%. and comparable figures in other parts of Austria, in Germany. In France, I think maybe 10% took it in one hospital in Paris, according to the French health minister. But other hospitals report minuscule numbers of nurses being willing to take this vaccine, even though they're put under tremendous pressure. There was a case in Austria where nurses and doctors were told they'd be fired if they didn't take the vaccine, and they still said, we're not taking the vaccine, you know, and refused to take it. So nurses and doctors are not taking this vaccine.
Pričali smo do sada o svinjskom gripu i cijepivu svjetskoj uroti, međutim možemo ovih zadnjih par minuta posvetiti vama osobno. S obzirom da se bavite jednom stvari koja će nekim ljudima zvučati prefantastično, nekima drugima preopasno, kako je na vaš osobni život i da li je utjecalo razotkrivanje priče o cijepivu protiv navodne svinjske gripe?
Well, I have to say it's been one new discovery after another. I think, like many people, I would not have believed that there was a group of people who are so organized, who have so control of so many key government functions in so many countries, who are working together to give people this toxic and untested vaccine, and who want to damage and kill millions, if not billions of people. So it's been very difficult to understand that this is really what is happening. As somebody who has worked as a journalist, I realize that the media is systematically filtered in the Western Europe. I saw how my reports were censored. So I was aware there was a very powerful group of people behind the media screen who were controlling our perception of events and who were feeding us information that enabled them to increase their power, their money, and I knew they were unscrupulous and they were whatever. But I would never have believed that there were people out there who would have planned and intended such a terrible crime against their fellow human beings, and that these are in Austria, our chancellor, our health minister, the key officials, you know, who we see on TV every day and who are signing these decrees and covering up these events and planning these terrible crimes. So I've been in a state of personal shock, to be honest, about what's been going on.
Evo, taj osobni šok je završio time da se danas uglavnom bavite svojim web sajtom kojim pratite zbivanje oko svinjske gripe.
Well, I was fired from my job as a result of my filing the charges, and at that point I did think the priority is to try and communicate to people the danger of these vaccines. I knew I couldn't get this information out through the mainstream media, and so I set up a website with Johan Nicolason, and we report on these developments to try and keep people up to date. I believe we are entering a critical period of time. These people do want to turn the swine flu into a bird flu. They want to introduce pneumonic plagues such as the Ukraine, and they want to use this as an excuse to implement martial law wherever they can. I think it's becoming more and more difficult for them, but they're going to try it. And so it's very, very important at this point to mobilize as many people as possible and make them aware that they have to be alert and be ready to defend their basic rights in case the government does try something like this.
Jane, hvala vam što ste došli iz Beča u Hrvatsku. Nije to ni tako daleko.
Thank you very much for having me.
I želim vam puno sreće u vašem radu. Da ne kažem, želim nam puno sreće u vašem radu.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hvala i vama na pažnji i dobrodošli u novi svjetski poredak, ako mogu tako reći. Čini se da će biti manje gužve na cestama, ali dok taj pokušaj ne propadne, držat ćemo se provjerenog starog poretka stvari. A to je onaj kod kojeg tjedan ima 7 dana, a mi se vidimo svakog prvog dana u tjednu. Čuvajte sami svoje zdravlje na način kako je to priroda zamislila i doviđenja.